Hello, beautiful people. This is my latest 100-mile belt buckle from the Yeti 100 in Albington, Virginia. We started on Friday, September 29th, and as far as I know, this is the only belt buckle that has Bigfoot, the Yeti, a unicorn, a rainbow, and a train on it. So I am the proud owner of this. 146 of us earned that buckle out of 301 registered and about 261 who started. So the course was tougher than expected, and I ran the whole thing in a pair of Xero Z-Trails sport sandals. Came to realize after the race that they were a little more broken in than I realized. The contact points had gotten pretty thin, and there were a lot of sharp rocks out there. In fact, I learned the evening before the race started of an idea called Yeti tattoos, and it's probably not what you're thinking. Yeti tattoos are formed when runners crash on the trail. Many of the sections of trail are real dark, almost black, and because this is I think the only national scenic rails to trail path in the United States, a lot of coal was hauled by train on this path, and so there are chunks of rock, oftentimes coal, sticking up out of the trail, almost like they're cemented in. They are absolutely treacherous, ass-kicker rocks. I had to slow my pace down quite a bit because I was afraid I'd shred my feet if I happened to kick one of those rocks sticking up. And one mistake I made was I only added Body Glide, aside from pre-race, I only added Body Glide to my feet one time. So I went all 100 miles in these sandals with no socks, and it wasn't until mile 77 that I took the time to pull these off, apply Body Glide to my feet, and that did provide some relief. Just less friction, gave a little bit of relief to the dry skin, etc. So I think in hindsight I would have taken the time to do that at least 3 times. Before I get into my new Xero shoes and the next race coming up November 4th, I wanted to show you my new pillowcase from the Yeti 100. Evidently, I'm in a cult, but it's not a cult. There is also the banner, which is true. No rest till Abington. That is where the race ended. We picked up a shuttle van from Abington, got a ride up to White Top Mountain, and ran 33 1/3 miles back to Albington on the Virginia Creeper Trail, which was spectacular. There are 47 trestles. We ran 46 of them 3 times each. So after running 1/3 of 100 miles, we turned around, ran back to White Top Mountain, which is largely uphill, and then back to the finish. So if a runner is fortunate enough to not get Yeti tattoos and make it to the flagpole at the top of White Mountain, they then have, in time, they have a 91% or so odds of making it all the way to the finish. One of the more unusual things I picked up at the packet pickup was, I guess I need to buy some wheels for the new skateboard. Anyhow, back to the Yeti tattoo idea. When runners crash, and many did, on that relatively smooth but tricky trail, if it happens to be a section with lots of the black coal dust, when the skin gets all ripped up, the coal dust gets inside the body, and evidently it stays there permanently, or at least long term, and hence the concept of Yeti tattoos. Thankfully, I did not get one, and one of my prime goals was to run the entire 100 miles healthy without a single fall, and fortunately I was able to do that. I was almost about 4 hours slower than I thought, just under 28 hours to run that race, but the primary reason for taking it a little bit easy there was the race was basically a training run for the Rim to River 100. So both of these are pretty much bucket list races. They sell out super quick at the beginning of the year. So I was just lucky to be entered into the races to begin with. Rim to River 100 is only 5 weeks after the Yeti 100, and it will be a 50-mile out and back from Fayetteville, West Virginia, out and along the New River Gorge. Should be absolutely spectacular. And I'm excited to have purchased a brand new pair of shoes, of course Xero shoes for that race. Typically, if I'm going to run a 100-miler in shoes, which is rare, last time I did that was at the Indiana Trail 100 about a year ago in the Xero TerraFlex 2s in a half size up to allow for some socks in the cold weather, and also, you know, for the feet to swell a little bit after about a marathon on trails. It's natural for the feet and ankles to swell up just a little bit. So I've been super pleased with the TerraFlex. Mine are showing a little bit of wear to the upper, and these are not they're not very water resistant. They're definitely not a waterproof shoe. So the next generation trail shoe from Xero just might be the best trail shoe, especially within the minimalist category in the universe. So thank you, Xero Shoes, for creating an incredible option for trail runners. Stephen and Lena Sashin have been shaking up an industry desperately in need of a shake-up. So I hope they keep at it for many more years. This is the new Xero Scrambler Low. You can see it's got the Michelin Man doing a Kung Fu style kick. So Xero has partnered with Michelin, which I think is interesting because when I first bought a pair of $20 kit sandals from what was then called Invisible Shoes, of course now Xero Shoes, they were sort of on the market as tire treads for our feet with a 5,000-mile warranty, much like a tire warranty. And so now, after 13 some years or whatever, this is the next step in the evolution of Xero trail running products. It almost looks like there might be some arch support there, but there is not. The bottoms of these shoes are flat, and it's of course Xero drop, relatively thin outsole, very lightweight and flexible, but incredibly grippy. You can sort of just hear the grip. When you walk on these inside on a ceramic or hardwood floor, you just feel the outsole gripping to the floor and sort of squeaking a little bit. So from what I've heard, the treads are extremely effective outside on the trails, and I'm eager to get these things dirty. There are several improvements built into this shoe versus the TerraFlex 2, which was an incredible trail running shoe. I still love them, still wear them very frequently. But the side straps on the Scrambler Low are built to where they can't be snagged on tree roots or branches or anything. They're inside this smoother, lighter upper. So you can still custom tension the strap, the straps on the Scrambler Low, but they're sort of tucked away and hidden, and it just makes them less likely to be damaged during trail running. So these are water resistant. They might even be waterproof, which should come in handy at Rim to River 100, because I do believe we're going to have some stream crossings there. So there is the outsole with the Michelin logo, and they're just the perfect amount of protection for a rough trail and lightweight enough. So you can see there's just a little bit more rubber built in at the heel and at the forefoot area, although the outsoles are flat underfoot. So there's just a little bit more protection for rough trails, rough rocks, rough roots, and a little bit more lateral stability. So being in these shoes should give me quite a bit more confidence to go faster on the rough terrain versus being in an open pair of sandals with no socks and my toes hanging out with all those roots and rocks. And it's very likely to possibly dip below freezing at the Rim to River 100 in November. So the Scrambler low should keep my feet nice and warm and dry. I have run several, well, at least a couple 50K trail races during the winter in the regular Xero Scrambler boots. So I know I already love the product, but it does feel like a completely different piece of footwear without that extra 1.5 to 2 inches built up around the ankle. Still kind of wondering, what am I going to do with this beautiful skateboard base? When I did a wear testing and review of the Xero Dillons, I thought, boy, these would be the perfect skater shoe. Looks like I might have to buy a set of wheels for this board just to try out the Dillons on a board. One more piece of swag from the Yeti 100. I love my new Born to Run Trails Tech Moisture Wicking hat. And I do need to disclose that as an affiliate partner with Xero Shoes for at least 13 years, I guess, I might earn referral fees for people who use my affiliate link. And so please do so. It helps support my habit. Thank you very much. I am Randy Kreil. Thank you for watching.